Walter Cronkite was who I wanted to be like when I was a young reporter. And the great thing is when I came to CBS and I found out that Walter was exactly the same off camera as he was on camera. And I can't say that about all of the people I know in journalism. I think that's what came across, and that's what people liked about Walter. They knew he was real. They knew he really cared about the news. Walter always understood that the news is more important than the people that are reporting it. And I think people really appreciated that. And I think that's why they trusted him so much. He never thought he was more important than the story. He just wanted to help the viewer understand what was going on. And he's the best there was at that. It was fun to work for him. It was fun to be around him. There was no one who was more fun to go have a drink and talk about the day's news with than Walter Cronkite, and he loved that. Walter loved the news. He had a childlike curiosity, which I have found is a trait that all really good reporters share. I mean, if Walter heard a car crash, it would be like it was the first car wreck he ever saw in his life. He'd want to run out. He'd want to know all about it. He'd want to talk to people. He would find out who was hurt, what the details were. He always, no matter what the story was, he was interested and he wanted to know what it was all about. And that, that's what made him the great reporter that he is. Walter Cronkite and Ed Murrah really defined what broadcast news is. I think Murrah sort of invented it, and then Walter expanded it when we got to television. They were the two most influential people on the profession, and they probably were the two most influential broadcast journalists. I'm not sure we'll ever see a Walter Cronkite or an Ed Murrah again. I think Walter showed us what it takes to be trusted. He taught us how to play the game. And he taught us that the way you do that is you just stick to the basics. When something happens, you try to find out what happened. You go to the story, you get as close to it as you can, and then you ask as many people as you can to explain to you what happened. And then you try to explain it to your viewers, your readers, your listeners in language that they can understand. There was nothing fancy about Walter Cronkite. There was nothing fancy. He just did the basic things that reporters do, and that is do it every day, cover the beat, and then understand what it is that affects people's lives and tell them about it in language that they can understand. That's Walter Cronkite's legacy.